Samantha. It's Mike with Real Life Photography. Um, I'm glad you asked me to do a couple of your photos with the loft presets. Um, I haven't edited a whole lot with these, just so you know, and they're pretty moody, and so I've found that personally, I on the few images that I have used them on, they function better outdoors to me. But I mean, tweak as you like, and I mean, I'm sure you can make them work for your for any indoor photos as well. So uh, I'll start with this one here, and I will start with Loft 01. I'll drop exposure just a little bit, up the highlights a little, and then I'm just going to touch the sliders a little bit. And I think I'm going to drop exposure a little bit more. I think it looks a little better just like that. And let's see if we can add a little bit of luminance to our eyes. And I think this particular image, I really like the color of the chair, and then the contrast, the other color of the wall, like the aqua teal color of the wall, and then the wall itself and the color of her eyes are really going well together. I like this photo a lot. I think it works well with grain as well. So I'm not even going to drop the grain out. So that's the first one. I would leave it just like it is. Here's the second one. This reminds me of a chair that my grandmother had. She always, always sat in this chair. All right, so we'll look at the black and the whites. Um, I think you'll have to just tweak it to your liking. I'm not a big fan of that black and white. Let's see if we do C1 again. Low grain, heavy, no. Mid. Let's look at 2. Alright, so I think with some tweaking, we might be able to make this work here. Like I said, they're real, I mean, they're, some of the presets that we bought, that I've bought personally, some work with, multiple shots. I mean, it could be indoors, it could be outdoors, whatever it may be. And then there's those few presets that are, more specialized. Blissful Maven's kind of like that. There's a lot of presets in the Blissful Maven pack. But I found that, they only work on certain photos. And particularly, I don't think this particular photo is going to work well with these presets. I don't know. I guess I could probably play with it a little bit more until I get something right, but I'm just not feeling it on this particular photo. I'm sure you've probably heard everybody else talk about it and me a million times. I think Sven's presets are probably hands down the best ones that I've seen that work on a whole multitude of different images depending on, I mean, indoor, outdoor, lifestyle, wedding, so on and so forth. So we're going to move on to this one. So if you haven't looked at Sven's presets, you might want to check those out as well. Just going to straighten up the horizon just a little bit. And see, this one might actually work out pretty well. I kind of like that 3. Let's check out 3. Really makes the red pop. I'm going to tone the red down just a little bit. Not a whole lot. I think this horizon still needs a little work. I like that. So, yeah, I think that's about about what I would do for this particular image if I was going to edit it with the loft presets. Let's look at this next one. So I think this loft 3 is going to work well on this one. And I mean, everybody has their own different editing style. Most of my stuff tends to be kind of warm and dark, so I'm just going to edit them as if they were my photos. But you might be able to achieve a completely different look that that you like. These work perfectly for you. I'm just going to give a little bit more pop to those penguins there. And I think I'd leave that exactly where it's at as well. I do like the grain settings on the loft presets. I think the grain, and then kind of how the tones are within the image, I think grain goes real well with it. Let's see. Go with this one. You kind of get that bleached out look a little bit. And I actually probably would take a brush here and just lighten up the eyes. Back out of it and see, just to make sure it wasn't too much. Just lighten up the eyes just a little bit. And I'd leave that one just like that. Here we go. Take a look at this one in black and white. So crazy. It looks like this must be reflecting off of here or something, because it looks like you're. Let me reset that. I want to see that again in color. So it definitely looks like your feet are on the floor and on the ceiling from the reflection. I didn't notice it at first, but and it makes it a little harder to notice in black and white. So I'm gonna do it in color instead of black and white. I like number 1 better. A little bit more aqua in there. Trying to decide. I think that blue down here in the bottom left is a bit distracting. I'll leave it like that right there. And last one, an outdoor shot, which I think these will do well in the outdoor shots. Like I said, we can always raise the greens a little bit just to kind of bring it back to reality, I guess, because they're pretty extreme. Some of these are pretty extreme. I like that. I'm going to raise the greens just a little tiny bit. There. Now up the blues just a little bit more. I think I'm just going to add a little bit of exposure right there. And I might actually Let's see what we're working with on crops. I might actually crop it down like that. So there you go. Hopefully it helps you make your decision. Just for giggles, in case you haven't seen them, I'm gonna do I think my favorite of the 7 of them or so that you sent me. I'm going to edit them with Sven's presets. And so Sven's are definitely my jam. I feel most comfortable with these presets over anything else because I've used them so much. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. Horizon. To leave it about right there. Warmth, contrast, and you can leave the grain or you can drop it out. It's a really nice photo, but I'll leave it with the grain. So that was Sven's preset number 1, which is really my go-to. Or no, it wasn't number 1. That was actually, what was it? That was number 8. Sven 1 is really my jam. But I actually think I might have tweaked 8. Or I'm sorry, hold on, back. I tweaked 8 to look pretty darn close to what 1 does. So that's, I guess, I just love it that much that I tweak all presets to end up looking like Sven's small 1. So I hope this helps you. I'm sorry I rambled on for longer than what I thought I would, but hopefully it helps you make a decision if you want to buy Loft's presets or not. I personally think you could go with Sven's presets, and for about $45 by $75, you're going to have something that works good indoors and outdoors. But if you got your mind set on having Loft presets, then I don't think that they're a bad purchase. I just think that they're not universal. You can't use them on every image.